it good? God damn it.
Ringing, hello, simps and virgins.
Motherfucker.
And welcome back to Krown's Bird Nest Cave.
God damn it! Elsa is so disrespectful. I need to tell you a story of what happened the other morning. I wake up, okay? I walk into the living room, ready to work, and she's there with, like, her hands on her side. She says, "Sup?" F word that you cannot say on the internet. And she thinks it's funny because she's disgusting. Anyways, cancel her. Let's get on to the shit that actually matters over here. Starting off with the Krown Chain application. I would like to wish you a happy and healthy start to this nice little Tuesday or Wednesday or... hey, whatever fucking day it is, doesn't matter, baby. Anyways, with that said, let's get in the Krown Chain application over here, which we found at app.krownchain.net. It is also for the price of $0.00000 to infinity dollars, actually. And what do we see today? Fear and Greed Index ticking up, upwards and onwards, as you would expect. Bitcoin grinding up around pretty much its prior all-time high in this case, and Bitcoin dominance also hitting up as well. And I'm sure that you have noticed, just like myself, that altcoins on the whole, in general, are getting absolutely massacred versus their Bitcoin pairings. And even versus their US dollar pairings, they're barely following Bitcoin as well. However, I do stand with what I've been saying. Bitcoin being strong versus the dollar is going to be good for the long term for, altcoins as well. I mean, we just probably see them rally a little bit later after Bitcoin goes through its next major move and consolidates for a while. And thank you for the water. Oh shit! It's Mr. Scott Barney. What's up, man? Good morning to you. I missed you, man. I missed you. Where have you been? Anyways, you have a WAP, so shut up. Anyways, what do we see over here as far as the top 10 best coins go? We see Shiba with double-digit gains, per protocol as well on the winners list. It's actually 2 days in a row right there. Not bad. Other than that, a lot of 2017 shit coins, OMG Network, Bitcoin Gold, and Waves, actually. Wow, I haven't seen that one in a while. Phantom always on the winners list as well. So with that in mind, and actually Axie as well. Axie just powerful as all hell. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. I want to point this out right here as well, as we've been following on the global leverage ratio. It is getting, well, another uptick right there. We are, for reference, at about 0.16 region, that is, and in comparison to our last major both bull traps and bear traps are just major fucking moves off the lows or off the highs. That was a little bit north of where we're at right now, about 0.176, 0.175 region. That was your last major September high. Also your bear trap in late July as well. Of course, that was also your all-time high in April, and of course also the November pullback or Dumbola as well. And then what I also want to point out right over here as well is that, if I can remove my face for just a hot damn second and turn off the goddamn alerts as well, there we go. We do see that global open interest really starting to get up there. So this is making me a bit more concerned that Bitcoin probably will play out a pretty nasty pullback, likely after one more move to the upside. I still think that Bitcoin guns for one more move to the upside. Does it put it around its prior all-time high or maybe make new all-time highs? Probably yes, but ultimately, I suspect that you're going to see a nice volatile move, a nice little rug pull after that, and then we get to start the real market into the rest of the year, which is probably going to be really, 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 really nice. Just the main disposition right now, if you're in this market, is just fucking survive realistically. And how can you do that? Don't over leverage yourself. Don't start chasing the dragon with your trades. And as always, have your rules set out for yourself, and that is the best defense against, well, FOMO-induced or just bad trading in general. So with that in mind, I'm going to put my face back on, and we're going to go into the charts right now and start off with the most important thing that happened in the last 24 hours, and that would be the 2-day closure that we saw last night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And what do we see? We see yet again another closure above the top side trend band here. So this is also why I'm biased towards seeing further continuation to the upside, over the next probably half week here, before a general pullback, perhaps on the daily, to set in that, that next higher low. I mean, to be fair, on both the daily and 2-day, we still do not actually have a higher low on this. We have a higher high, obviously, and at some point, we will pop back down, scare the shit out of everyone, and probably put in a higher low, because all of the higher term time frames, 5-day, weekly, monthly, are all in uptrends right now, obviously. And by the way, speaking of the 5-day, we're gonna be closing this one tonight as well. So let me just take a sippy sip of this Santa thingy, and then we'll get into this one. Why do I have a Christmas mug, you ask? Actually, I have a very good answer for that, because you, lazy Elsa, didn't clean my glorious Chewbacca mug, so now I'm stuck with fucking...
Oh, no.
Yeah, what am I gonna do? Exactly. Anyways, 5-day closing tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's gonna have a chance to do the same thing as a 2-day as well. Obviously, being a 5-day, it is gonna be much more powerful than the Tuesday, and that condition will be met with any sort of a closure tonight above 57,700 or so. And at that point, you know, I'd be looking over the next 5 to 10 days for Bitcoin to very likely make a run up towards its prior all-time highs. Let's say anywhere between about $59,000 to $62,000 on a closing basis. And at that point, I would start to express a little bit of caution. Very likely you're going to see some profit taking. Obviously, people who are buying $30,000 are probably going to be taking at least some profits right there. And also, I imagine you're gonna be able to trap a lot of breakout traders with a fake, or sorry, not a fake, but just, you know, a nice little wick to the upside first. Get everyone nice and lubed up, and then slam it down on them, and then go for that daily higher low that we've been looking for, which I probably think is going to be the next like major opportunity for perhaps a long-term trade. Then again, this is not financial advice. Not a financial advice. First thing from it, but I can show you my testnet account because it's not real fucking money, by the way. Testnet account, you can see right here, not real. Hey, it's not real. What am I doing right here? I'm actually back up to just north of 34 Bitcoin profit. I want to show my positional deltas though, because that's probably what's most interesting and most important about this. I've actually increased my upside exposure a little bit on this last move up, just south of 29 deltas long here. And as far as my positions go, running more or less the same positions here. Still holding my $33,000 spot long against an expiring put spread. I think it's, yes, at the end of this week. That one actually is working on my favor right now, but again, these are mostly marks here. I got some really, really good prices, mostly because this is a testnet account, obviously. And other than that, still have my 50,000 long calls over here, expiring end of month, 10 lot right there. And shorted, actually, I did short another 2.5 of the 40,000 put strike. I forgot doing that. Oh, well, fair enough. I'll take it. And then also I own the $60,000 and $68,000 call strikes 50 times combined. So there we go. I'll take it, baby. Options, powerful fucking options. And let's get back into routing over here, and let's go over the shorter term time frames, of which I don't know if we were working off this chart, because I've been also doing videos on Elio Trey's channel. He's just a really, really good friend of mine, and you know, kind of helps my exposure and also helps him out. And we're trying to like basically create like an Avengers team of like good, you know, actual good content information. Not to throw shit at anyone else out there. Just, you know, we want to try to do our part within this market. And he's got the fucking NFT sector locked like no one else, man. I mean, his calls are just insane. Like, he actually got me to FOMO into like this fucking this fucking CyberCon thing, and like immediately that thing doubles. Those things are fucking expensive too. It went from like 100 Ethereum to 200 Ethereum. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this thing? And then like bananas are coming out of my ears now too. It's like, what the fuck is going on here, man? Powerful bananas, baby. Fucking powerful bananas on those CyberCons. Major shout out, by the way, to the CyberCon community. Those guys are great. I do lurk in that community. I don't really talk too much, but you guys are fucking phenomenal. Anyways, yes, so we did hit our short-term time frame measure move off of the ascending triangle right here, just below $58,000, so looking good on that one. And essentially the same sort of interpretation on the short-term time frames so what we had over the past couple days here. Still looking at 55,800 as a pivot. Technically speaking, as long as Bitcoin's above there, I'm looking for the path of least resistance to continue to be explored to the upside in both the short-term time frames and then obviously in the higher-term time frames as well, as we discussed at the very beginning of this video here. So until Bitcoin actually cracks back down below and breaks 55,800, I do still look at those technical targets to the upside as likely to be fulfilled before any, you know, greater pullback in this case. Now, if Bitcoin were to crack back down below 55.8, I would look for another move down somewhere around the bottom side of our prior consolidation range. That could be around $54,000. And I would not really declare this a daily confirmed local high until we actually do close at the very least a 4-hour dildo below about $54,000, let's call it. And then yeah, I'd probably be looking for a move somewhere down around $50,000, and I'd be of the opinion that we're probably going to see a higher low first on the daily, and that perhaps could be a major opportunity if you happen to give a fuck. Anyways, let me just double check over here that we're all well and good. Okay, we are all well and good, so that is lovely. And let's get into these charts over here. I suspect that we also have some short-term timeframes presenting potential hidden bullish divergence. Let's see, or at least that's what we'd expect. If this one is going to continue onwards and forwards from here, hourly is going to show one very anemic drive thus far. Would not want to see this one come back down below 56,500 if that one is going to hold true. So that is a hard and set condition for that to actually come to fruition here, obviously. And again, what is essentially continuation? I mean, we just have a higher low right there. That's all that is. Nothing more complicated than that. Same thing on the buy early as well. It's definitely potential there, but we do not have a confirmed local low. So how would we confirm this as a local low? I'd really want to see Bitcoin pop back up, at least close a buy hourly dildo back above about 57,250. If you're using an hourly, I'd want to see it back above about 57,500. If you can see one of those two things, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to make that next leg up somewhere around 59,000 bucks to, or probably more like 59.5 to 62,000 bucks. I don't want to put like too specific numbers on this, just because you can see right here with the volume profile, things really start to thin out above 59 in this case. So things can get crazy, obviously. And this is kind of what we've been preparing for I suppose months now, just kind of marking this one onwards and forwards. Just for reference here, the topside Krown band on the daily is actually pretty much in line with the last of the Mohicans as far as the volume profile goes. It really starts to thin out just above 60,000 bucks. So tentatively speaking, probably looking somewhere around there. Anyways, on a continuation drive, that is for the medium and higher term timeframes. All right, let's put this baby back off. Let's go look at shorter term timeframe momentum oscillators and then pull the picture together, baby. Don't know where the fuck I said that. That's weird. But looking at the daily right here, momentum remains the upside as long as we're up 56,250. Looking good on that, I suppose. 4 hour is going to be popping down below 57,300. So we actually did see that number pop up with the very short term timeframes. And hourly is going to be popping back up, same level, 57,300 as well. So that is a good short term timeframe pivot for another very likely continuation drive into the $58,000 territory. And then at that point, I do think that the medium and higher term timeframes will take on over. And we won't have to worry about any sort of leverage washing until Bitcoin probably puts in a move, probably past 60,000 bucks at that point. I do want to point out one last thing over here, and then we'll get into the chatties, and that is this. So we have a couple measure moves here. We have a couple technical targets to the upside. In fact, in line actually with the 1.618 Fibonacci extension. One of them is coming from this as a cup and handle. Not a humongous fan of those patterns, and everyone and their mother's fucking calling it out right now too, which is usually not the best sign. But what is also consistent with this is something that we pointed out like literally months ago, actually in June, when Bitcoin and everyone, not everyone, but many people were talking about this as a head and shoulders. Left shoulder in January, complex head in April, May, and then right shoulder in June, of course. And, while that was technically, I guess, valid, head and shoulders are just not a very good statistically relevant pattern in bull markets, actually. In uptrends, head and shoulders have like a less than 30% probability to actually work out. Just as an aside here, I want to take one more sip of this and then we'll finish the sentence. And there we go. And while you can, technically look at that, what I think is more relevant, especially in this market condition, is the failure measured move, which actually does happen to work out a decent amount of time. And this one is valid, especially as long as about 50,000 bucks. Actually, this is still a technical and valid target, which would be essentially around 69,000 bucks. A great number, in fact. So does Bitcoin play that out first before any sort of a greater pullback? Perhaps yes. That would be the obviously more bullish view right here. But other than that, I do want to kind of take things one step at a time. For right now, obviously things look good. Next sort of major areas of interest, major things to be aware of is obviously going to be the 5-day closure later tonight. So if we do close a 5-day above that 57, I think it was 700 pivot, then very likely we do see that move onwards and upwards with short-term stops along the way, probably somewhere around 59 and then 62,500 or so is where I'd be looking towards. And obviously that was also confluent with the volume profile. Just one last thing before we move on, as I do want to check in on CME. And very interesting, CME a little bit showing a little bit more of a bullish picture here than spot price action. Actually, we did close above the topside Krown band yesterday. So looking good right there. I would be, this would imply that we probably do see a move towards 59,000 bucks within the next 48 hours here as well. So looking good right there, and no real reason to be looking for like any sort of decent sized, downside as long as we're above, again, that $54,000 pivot. If that does get taken out, I would be looking somewhere, maybe even just below 50,000 bucks. Again, it would still just be a higher low by definition. All higher term timeframes are in uptrends. Just the daily is, doesn't have that higher low just yet. So with that in mind, I think it's time to put on the alerts and we can get into the chatties right now. We are already 26 minutes into this bitch, but I'm feeling good about this one, baby. I'm feeling good about this one as I polish off this actually pretty damn good coffee, man. These Finnish people, man, they figured out coffee really, really well. There we go. There we go. Okay, lovely. All right, let's get back onto it over here. Let's see what else has got lined up. I got the alerts on, and let's see. Scott Barney says, hope you guys don't eat onions before you do that intro, sir. Unnecessary carbs. I don't eat that bullshit. Jesus Christ, man. You fucking eat like a rabbit, sir. Matt C says, yo, big boy. Hello, am I big boy? This is me, big boy, a very big 5'8". Yeah. Theta USD 4-hour monthly Binance. Okay, sure. Let's go check this one out. Theta. I remember last week this one was looking decent, or maybe that was a different one, but well, it doesn't look too good on the 2-hour. No, it looks terrible. I wouldn't say it looks terrible, but it does look like it's primed for some downside right here. Don't like this failure on a lower high structure on the daily, specifically 5 days, obviously closing today as well. I mean, any sort of a closure below about $6.50. I'm looking for this one to retest around its lows first, and then probably try a bit of a complex low, either around about 480. If that area fails, then I'll be looking for another retest of your July lows, actually. But not a good setup right here, actually. Bearish, especially as long as you're below $6.50. Weekly. I mean, it's, do I think that it's going to bottom out essentially around or just below $5? Probably yes. But I think it's going to take more time, as are most altcoins. When Bitcoin's got all the spotlight on it, well, everything else kind of takes a backseat to that. And this would be a prime example of that. Again, long term, very good chart, very fucking good chart here. Long term, generally just goes up, which is and this one actually was born in 2018, so perfect. This one's really fucking good long term. Just I think it's going to take a lot more time, essentially consolidating between. Well, we don't even need these areas right here. What we need is this. I think you're doing some of this for a very long time. Maybe this is going to be your next higher low right here, and you do something like this. Either which way, I like this for the long term, but short term, I do suspect that you do spill on over, and I'm happy to be bearish on something like this. Short term, medium term, as long as you're below about 645 actually on a daily. Path of least resistance in that case is back down 540 to 5. Yeah, to just below $5 actually. Ooh, nice one. You like that? AAP says, hello, sir. Why are you laughing? What's funny about that? You think it's funny to be rude? What's up, AAP? SCRT on lower time frames. What does lower time frames mean to you, man? Let's see what we got here. Secret network. Good. On the higher term time frames, let's go to the 4-hour. 4-hour, a little bit of a short-term pullback right here, but okay. You got your higher lows as long as you're above $5.50. Let's see what hourly is looking like right now. Yeah, I do think that this one will play at a little bit of a downside move from here, but overall, I do remain, I suppose, bullish on it long term. As long as it's, I know you didn't ask for this, but especially as long as it's above about 440, I mean, there's really fucking good chart, man. But if you're specifically asking about like an hourly and a 4-hour, I do think that you're going to range back down and probably put in a higher low somewhere around just below $6 or so. I would only get, I suppose, short-term bearish on this one. It's not even like the right terminology, but I'd be looking for like a decent sized downside move. If you start to close hourly deltas below about 570 to 569, I'd be looking for a nice move down to about 5 even at that point, and then come back to it after that. Until then, I suspect that this one's probably going to do something like this, if I had to guess. It's like, something like that and reaccumulate. I mean, generally speaking, it's good, but I don't want to misrepresent that one. Long term, if you are on the higher term time frames, again, generally pretty damn good. All right, Mr. Martin Hunt, he's back. What's up, man? Parked spot alt and Bitcoin yesterday morning. Nice. Can you look at Bitcoin dominance on the 4-hour? Okay. I don't think that Bitcoin dominance on lower term time frames, anything under really even a daily, is like relevant. It's already a pretty like inconsistent metric to begin with, just because market cap is not really like the best or most trustworthy mechanism, but we can look at it at your request, I suppose. Anyways, you're saying, okay, can you look at Bitcoin dominance on the 4-hour? BBWP looks close to redlined, and RSI is fairly high. I don't care about indicators on Bitcoin dominance. I really don't think anything other than trend matters here. I guess you could also say volatility as well. It actually does seem to work generally well here. Is it redlined? No, it's not necessarily redline, but it is around that 95 percentile. What does that essentially suggest? It essentially suggests that we probably do see a bit of sideways on this one. But again, massively bullish here. There is nothing at all whatsoever bearish about this chart, in my opinion, except for the fact that we do still have a weekly downtrend. But I would feel very confident and comfortable saying that this one's probably going to reverse in front of our very eyes and put in a move past 50% or so. Anyways, to directly address your question, one more drive before a pullback. Yeah, I'm kind of looking at something like that. I suspect that this is going to be one of those times where we get all the way up to 100 percentile, because this is still just continuation right here. If you're looking at it from a 4-hour perspective, nothing really concerning about this as long as you're about 45.5 for the short term. Again, I don't think that lower term timeframes are really where it's at with Bitcoin dominance. I'm just kind of answering your question as you asked it. In the best of my ability, but daily is obviously a reversal right there. Weekly looks very unlikely, like it wants to reverse, and monthly is monthly very likely works its way up over the next few months here into like the mid 50s if I had to guess. What's up, Scott Barney? The next leverage wash, can it wick to 34 to close gaps and still close above $45,000 to remain bullish? Yes, however, okay, up to my cards. Okay, so as a theoretical question, yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything can happen, right? But I think what you're really asking is like, if that happened, would it still be bullish? So we're addressing like a really hypothetical question right here. Would it still be bullish if it closed above exactly where? $45,000. I mean, it would be bullish. Yeah, I mean, anywhere really. Yeah, above about $44,000 would look good to me. Yeah, possible. I don't think it's very likely, though. I think that this is going to be probably the first time that you're going to see that trend negated, or maybe you just see it happen at a later date. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this, perhaps, where Bitcoin actually goes on a run first, something like that, and then maybe backfills like, next year or the year after that, and then goes something like that. Definitely possible. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now, because at some point, that very likely does come to fruition. I mean, when someone has a 100% hit rate in the past with, decent amount of iterations, I want to give it respect, the respect that it deserves. But to theoretically answer your question, yeah, it would be. It's just I don't think that that's what's happening right here. What's up, Ali Shamari? There we go. Hi, bro. Can you please check out Atom USD 4-hour daily? Sure. Okay. We're at over here. Cosmos, huh? Looks good on the quarterly. You're looking at a what? 4-hour and daily. Okay. All right. Daily. Well, really like to see a bounce right here. If this one's going to remain if this one's going to remain bullish on the daily for what it's worth. Weekly says we probably do go lower a bit. I imagine we probably have some bearish divergence forming. Yes, we indeed do. Next target to the downside would be about $25.5. The question is, do we bounce here or not? 4-hour says downside first. Daily looks like we've already kind of tapped into this area already, and the response was rather anemic. Technically speaking, I want to see an actual break on a daily closure below about 30.25. But for what it's worth, let's say it actually does recover here and then pops back above yesterday's high at 35.25. Then I'd say that this one's going to be more immediately bullish. Until then, I'm a lot more biased to say that this one does come down somewhere around about 25.25 overall first, and then tries for a low. The 4-hour is kind of in free fall, right? The 4-hour looks like it wants to break down, man. Not a good setup right there. Volatility expanding off, as this one essentially continues on with the downside trend. Is it raining? What is that sound? It sounds like it's raining, actually. It's coming from my sack. That would be called pee, sir. Very different from rain. Oh shit, yeah, it is actually raining. Damn, that's actually rather loud. But yeah, let's see. Scott Barney says Bears Deluxe. Bears Deluxe indeed, sir. Let me just double check over here. Okay, all right, beautiful. Lovely. Okay. All right, back on the comments. Let's see. Mr. Wally, there he is. Virgin King here. Hope you're well. Badger is fucked 4-hour, please. Man, you love these shit coins, don't you? All right, we can go check this one out. I forget if this one actually is a shit coin or not, but 4-hour, is it fooked? It does look a little bit toppy to me. I mean, we do have bearish divergence come off the high. Should be 1, 2, 3 drives right there. Short term, I'll probably be looking somewhere down around about $28.5, and probably a short term bounce right there, and then come back to it after that. Long term, yeah, it's not really a shitcoin. I mean, that should be an opportunity. Daily still fun, just short term down here probably offers up a bit of an entry, I suppose. At least for a little bit of a bounce play. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, 1776? Gush 2x oil ETF. Oh my god, this one's called Gush oil. Oh my god. Okay, so this thing traded on Arca. I don't think I've ever heard about this thing before. Looks like we did have a little bit of a blow off on the 4-hour there, but what time frames are you looking at? You're looking at a daily, actually. Okay. Weekly says up and away. Daily says short-term pullback, long-term up, maybe short-term pullback just down below about 104 or so. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one go for the gap though overall over the next couple months here. That's all the way at 180. That's Kind of far actually. Let me. Oh dear lord, yeah, we got one of these things going on right here. I mean, these 2x ETFs are like. Just fucking leverage the fucking leverage, baby. I suppose I would be still looking further north as long as this thing's above $100. Short term though, I do think it will test down somewhere around there. I'm just be looking for a higher low first and foremost. To be fair, do we have? We only have one drive of bearish divergence, so fair enough. I suppose I'd just be looking for 104 first. Hopefully a bounce there. If it's a higher low, I'd be looking north towards 180 after that. That's probably going to take a long time if it's going to play out. I would be looking for, personally speaking, you know, with the way that I've kind of known oil to trade, which I fucking hate. Like I avoid oil like the plague. I'd probably be looking for it to actually top out here and work its way back down. If you're just going off a straight TA, you should be looking for some upside from here. Personally speaking, I do think that this one's going to come way back down, honestly, down to like $85 or so, but that's just me. Scat Pack says, hello, sir. What's up, man? NKN long term. Okay, don't know what the fuck long term means to you, but I'll look at, is it Nikon or you're probably looking at this? Long term on a shitcoin that actually does have a decent amount of history going back to 2019, I guess. Let's put it on log. Not bad for the long term. I mean, it at least holds its lows. But I would be looking for this one to come back down. This one does look primed to come back down below 30 cents, probably in the next week or so. Daily RSI rejecting the bullish control zone and back down, and we got we got a bit of a range here. So long term is probably fine. Especially as long-term, you're closing weekly dildos on higher lows above about 25 cents in this case. But I do expect that you're getting ready for some more short-term and medium-term downside from here. Kind of but definitely bearish as long as you're below about 40 cents in this case. Hopefully that was helpful, sir. Thank you for that suggestion, Scott Barney. You are truly a mensch, sir. Jack Hassman, what's up, man? Ethereum Bitcoin 4 hour on daily. I imagine this one's probably in full on free fall down to 5.8 million satoshis. Let's go check it out. Where are you? Yep, there we go. The downside is occurring. Yeah, so yesterday we got a very anemic bounce off of the 200. You know, the short term it was a bit bouncy. I don't think that this is a strong bounce by any stretch of the imagination. I'm looking for this one to trade lower, man. Continuation of trend here. Won't take too much to get this baby on another another decent bounce, but how far down do we get before that next bounce comes, even on like a 4 hour time frame? This one can come all the way down to like 5.9, maybe 5.8 million satoshis. That's what I start to look for, the next sort of bouncy bounce territory. I suspect that this one's going to be coming off the weekly. Long term, though, I don't think that thing's stopped there, actually. I do think that this one will come down harder long term. It's lost its structure here, and that is obviously not good. The very, very long term, like your quarterly and above, still good, very, very long term, but I do expect that you do have some more downside to work off on this one. And bouncy territories, anywhere between about 5.8 to 5.9 million satoshis. And then I'd be looking for a bit of a bounce, probably another lower high anywhere below about 6.7 million satoshis, and then we get to see if the next leg plays down. Again, very, very reminiscent of 2017 when Bitcoin was holding the reins first, while Ethereum was getting absolutely boo-caked way on over here. Or actually did start to gain more of. Yeah, here is where it started. Yeah, here is where it really started, and then it did follow once Bitcoin kind of put in its own blow off top. So that's what I kind of think is happening here as well, man. Generally down, will be bounced along the way, obviously. Bearish, especially as long as you're below, 6.6 million satoshis right now. 4 hour time frame, do we have any bullish divergence? Certainly it's going to be forming here. It's just we don't have a local low just yet, and there's not even a talk over that as long as you're below about 6.3 million satoshis right here. What's up, Geohana? Krown, everyone's talking about Joe Exotic's coin. Okay. T-King, the Tiger King? All right. Okay. It's up 60% today. Everyone's talking about it, baby. That's a good sign. Chase those green dildos, my friends. T-King over here. Okay. Not on TradingView, unfortunately, man. So I can't pull it up. As always, I am limited by what TradingView has, but that's probably a good warning signal. That's probably a really good warning signal that one doesn't really end with smiling faces, we'll say. Anyways, you're saying Netflix season 2 comes out next month. Can you check the 1 and 4 hour for me? Unfortunately, I cannot. Again, it is not on TradingView, so we cannot access it. I imagine it's probably extremely illiquid, extremely new, and there's probably not even really a one to look at if it's extremely new. So I do pause about that, but if you have like another comment, we can definitely entertain that instead, and all good, man. What's up, David? Morning to you as well. Can you check SHIB on the 4 hour and daily? Okay. I think yesterday we were looking for SHIB to explore its range a little bit more and then probably top out somewhere around 3,000. We did get another move to 3,000, but this does not look like it wants to top out right there right now. 4-hour though, I do expect you're going to test a little bit of downside down to about 2,900. Hourly still fine. I mean, it's still an uptrend right here. Jesus Christ, man, this thing really is strong. Daily closed on new highs. I can't be bearish off that. I want to be bearish, but I can't be bearish off this piece of shit. God damn it, man. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a short-term wick to the downside here. I think it could go perhaps as low as about 2,800, but kind of have to respect this thing, man. Oh, look, got something like that. Motherfucker, man. Should we record this one? Well, sure, why not? Here we have SHIB token versus the dollar here. And this is what kind of drew out yesterday, somewhat similar to what we're doing right now, actually. I do think that short term, it probably does have a little bit of, well, actually short term, I mean, we're still following the higher low structure, so it's kind of hard to hate in that regard. In fact, it's kind of hard just to hate in general, if anything. So with that in mind, short term timeframes, I technically have to be bullish on this thing as long as you're above about 3,000 satoshis on an hourly. If you start to crack back down below there and close an hourly dildo, let's call it below 29.69, just put a number on it. I would look for a retracement first down to about 28 to 28.50 or so. Other than that, the daily did close on new highs, so I cannot be bearish on something like this. I do have to look for a general continuation to the upside in this case. The only target that really makes sense is your prior time high, maybe over the next week or so. One is, for what it's worth, good, as crazy as that does sound. But I suppose that, I've been getting a lot of comments on this that, this is not really what it appears to be, in the sense that, like, it's not just another, like, dog shit token. They apparently have, like, actual fundamentals behind it, so that, could perhaps support that. Let's see where the momentum pivots are for the time being. And here. Okay, lovely, and let's see what we got. All right, hourly is going to be popping down below with a closure below 3. Okay, so that actually does along with our pivot. 4-hour, same thing. 3 popping up twice there. 12-hour going to pop down below 2.9 and daily below 2.6. So with that in mind, if we do start to close hourly dollars below about 3,000 in this case, I would look for this one to make a a nice leg down to about 28 to 28.50. Try for a bounce right there, and then come back to it tomorrow. If that bounce does fail, that's at the point where I'd really start to look for like an actual, decent downside move and probably play out the same sort of projection right here, which is kind of hilarious, down to about 2350 or so, or 2400. But still, at the end of the day, man, you can't really be bearish on a chart that is just closed on new all-time highs, and of course a 5-day closing tonight as well. I mean, that is looking more or less good coming into the end of the month here. So hopefully that's helpful, and there you go for SHIB token. All right, nice one, man. Let me just pop back into my charts over here. Okay, lovely. And we have Mr. Saturn Epoch. What's up, man? Rose USD on daily and 4. I emotionally went all into Rose. Okay, let's see how this has gone. All in on, well, not the worst chart of all time. It's not bad right here, but I don't necessarily think that it's ready to like go off to the fucking moon or anything as well. Looking at a 4-hour. Short term, a little bit of bouncy bounce action, probably looking for it to pop back up towards 21, 22 cents or so. You do have your higher lows, essentially, as long as you're above that 19.5-cent pivot right there. So I would be respectful of that. Should be known, though, that 4-hour Jewel is given a little bit of a downside signature, not supported by the DMI. So that'd be a good counterpoint to it. I don't necessarily think that is, the most concerning thing of all time, to be fair. And let me just make sure that I'm good over here. Okay, sweet. All right, nice little open trade right now, actually. But yes, with that in mind, let's go to the daily. Daily's just coming down to test 10 simple and 21. That's completely fine. I'd really only be a little more concerned about this if you start to close daily dollars below about 19 cents. That same pivot to the downside on the shorter term time frames. Looking for a move down to 17 after that. And then we'd come back to it after that. I wouldn't kind of judge it too far in advance here. I do want to check in on my other charts, my little training chart right here. I've actually really grown to love this chart. I want to see what Ethereum's doing here, and looking like more of the same. Okay, fair enough. All right, nothing to do there then, and let's move on. What else do we have? What's up, Cameron? Krown, who's your favorite artist style of music? It depends what kind of music I'm listening to, man. I have all sorts of different tastes, man. Elsa says just say Eagles because I'm a boomer. I actually do like the Eagles. They're pretty damn good, but it depends what mood you're in, man. Sometimes dubstep is the call, of which it doesn't even matter who the artist is, just generally good. Sometimes some classic rock is the call. Sometimes some trance. I do like that as well. Man, there's so many ways to go with that. Rap as well. GCJ is the best. He's great. Axie Infinity. Yeah, let's go look at 2-hour and daily. Okay, AXS. What we got going on right here on Binance. And what do we see? What do we see? Let's actually record this one. All right. Here we have Axie Infinity, symbol AXS, versus the dollar. And we have one of the most impressive charts in cryptocurrency land, maybe even of all time right here. This one does consolidate around its current all-time highs. Anyways, this one is being asked by Mr. Cameron. We're looking at he wants to look at a bi-hourly and a daily. We'll do a general overview on this one, but starting off with the daily, what do we see? We do see a nice little uptrend right here, and I do remain, I guess, long-term bullish on this one, especially as long as it's above about 105.5. In this case right here, do we see any sort of hidden bullish evidence farming? No, we do not on the daily, unfortunately. And with BBWP backing off the highs here as well, I'm inclined to say that this one does trade sideways within a range at best for a while. And where would that range be? Jesus Christ, I charted this one for the lower term time frames, but realistically on the daily, all we're looking at is these areas right here. Nothing more complicated than that. 105 to the downside versus 137 to the upside. Anywhere between there is generally good for the long term. I'd be looking for a daily BBWP to trend down here once again and contract. Doesn't necessarily need to contract fully, but anywhere around 20 percentile is good enough. And in this case, that would be a really, really healthy looking chart. Shorter term time frames, what I'd be looking for? Short term up, I'd be looking for this one to pop back up somewhere around about $1.30, maybe even as much as the top side of the range here, but at least $1.30 right now. This one's looking pretty damn good actually on the short term time frames. 4-hour jewel getting some positive curvature. But ultimately, I think that your short-term timeframes, you can see some nice moves here and there. But ultimately, this one's just ranging here on the daily. So nothing like too interesting to be looking at right now if you're looking for like the next, mega massive move for that matter, which I suspect most people are. Daily will actually turn momentum also just back up with any sort of a closure above 128.5. 4-hour will also is actually freshly up above 115. So yeah, short term, I am looking for an upside move here. And 12-hour is actually going to freshly pop back up above 125. So, if you do start to close back above those, the 12-hour and daily pivot, I would extend targets to 135, 137 region. And then at that point, probably this one does start to trend to the upside yet again, sooner rather than later. But for right now, all higher term timeframes are bullish. I just suspect that you're going to go through a bit more of a consolidation with short-term timeframes suggesting some upside right there. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go, sir. Nice one. All right, sweet. Whoops, let me turn off the recording. Farhan, what's up, man? Looking very submissive and breedable today. What the fuck does that mean? Feeling randy, sir. Wonderful. Nice. Yeah, nice. Can we look at seller? Okay. CELR. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got here. Wow, big selling right there. Jesus Christ, man. Nasty wick. Chicks with wicks, baby. Chicks with fucking wicks. You're looking at a daily and a 4-hour. Here's the thing, man. If this thing's going to be bullish more immediately, you would expect your next higher low, basically where we're at right now. And let's see if the 4-hour is suggesting that we are going to do something like that. No, the 4-hour says we do come down a little bit further, probably somewhere down around about 13 cents. I would change my opinion on that with a 4-hour closure back above about 15 cents and declare that a nice next higher low, getting ready for another move back up towards 18 cents and probably just continuation of this current trend. I mean, this is a good chart long term. Don't get me wrong. But if I am going off of the if I'm looking at the shorter term timeframes right here, it does look like we trade a little bit further downside first. Try for a low somewhere around 13 cents. Again, still good long term, but would imply a little bit of short term downside here as we do see volatility start to expand off of this short term reversal. Actually, daily is completely fine. However, if you do start to close below 13 cents, however, on a daily, I would look for next move down somewhere around about 10.5 to 10.8 cents, and then come back to it after that. Until then, generally good long term. Just depends kind of where you're angled at. Here's the easiest call though, is taking out last week's high, which would be 19.87 cents. I'll be looking for this one to not just make new ultimized, but significantly new ultimized, because it's a phenomenal chart right here. Long term. So hopefully that's helpful, sir. What's up, Cairo man? Could you look at .BTC? Okay, so the Bitcoin parent. I expect that the Bitcoin parent is not going to be too nice. Yeah, it's not looking too nice right here, indeed. You're looking at a 4-hour daily, everyone holding the alt, but why not just buy at the next Bitcoin higher low? Well, that's a very logical and relevant question to be asking, Cairo man, but I don't know, man. I can't answer the question for other people. I expect that it's, the same thing as anything, right? People get emotionally attached to their shitcoins. I mean, very highly esteemed and amazing, technologically advanced, and even going to take over Bitcoin altcoins. But realistic, I mean, this chart kind of says it all right here. This is very obviously coming down on the weekly. Daily, same thing as well. I mean, probably one more bounce here at like 56.70 or so. But look, heavily bearish as long as you're below about 66.20. Did play at the hidden bearish divergence from yesterday. But I expect that this one probably makes one more leg to the downside. Short term on a 5-day, that is about 5,300 or so. And then do we extend that all the way down to our prior lows over time? Maybe yes. It really depends on how bullish Bitcoin is in these current levels. So yeah. What's up, Eric Perkins? You know I want that dog Elon, the dog Elon Mars coin. No lies, please. All right. Okay. Dog Elon Mars. Let's see if it's even. I don't know which one of these fucking dog Elon derp coins is the Mars derp. What the fuck, man? This needs to stop, like, for real. People are making too much bullshit. I'm gonna guess it's this thing, okay? I don't know if it is, but I'm gonna guess it's this thing, and it's actually pretty fucking good here. Whatever the fuck this is, god damn it, it's fucking bullish, piece of shit. Probably looking at 176, man, motherfucker. Oh, motherfucker, man, it is bullish. Bullish as long as you're above 120. Probably looking towards that target that I just spit out earlier. Good, I guess, but what the fuck? All these dog coins are going literally to fucking Mars, man. I don't know if this is the actual one that you're looking at, but this is ticker Elon versus the dollar. So for what it's worth, hopefully that's in some way useful, sir. What's up, Martin Hunt? All good, man. All good, and appreciate that, man. Thank you. Mr. Aurora, what's up, sir? Love the lesbian haircut. That's right, man. I'm your favorite lesbian, trapped in a man's body. KSM USD 4-hour FTX, please. Okay, so is this Kusama? Yeah, it is Kusama. I think it might be better to go to a different exchange just for more price action history. Let's see, what do we have right here? Looking at a 4-hour, just 4 hour. Okay, 4-hour down, baby, down. Looking for this one to probably try for a bounce a little bit lower than where we're at right now at about 310 or so. Anywhere around there is fair game. Same thing on daily as well here. I'd probably give it another chance to bounce off of. Actually, the daily says a little bit lower than that, but I don't know how much I trust it right here. Daily Jewel is getting a downside curvature, so not looking too hot, man. Holy shit, Bitcoin just went on a fucking ride. Jesus Christ. Powerful Bitcoin. Girthy green dildos in my face, baby. Holy shit. Woo! Nice one. There's your next higher low, baby. Show me those girthy green dildos, not these bullshit altcoins. Oh, man. Nice one, Bitcoin. Fucking nice. Yeah, those ones are probably going to recover right now then. Again, very anemic. Very, very anemic and impressive for a lot of those altcoins, but hey, you know, we should appreciate it while we got it, I suppose. Appreciate it while we got it. Just curious what Ethereum's doing right here. A little bit of a bullish engulfing on the 30 minutes, huh? Not bad, man, not bad. All right, let me see where I was at just there. Anyways, KSM. You know, I expect that it's going to bounce a little bit with Bitcoin there, but you can see that with every Bitcoin move to the upside, altcoins are just not bouncing as much. So this one's barely even following on that. I expect that you do come down somewhere around about 310, maybe even 300. If 300 does break, then I'd brace for impact to the downside. I do think it's going to be relatively difficult to get this one below that region, though, just because, well, then again, I don't know. Daily RSI, 3 drives of hidden bearish evidence is not something that I like to trade to the north side with, so fair enough right there, man. Holy shit. Let's go back to Bitcoin for a second here. Yeah, looking good on that move, baby. Looking good on that move. Hidden bullish evidence on the hourly. Powerful boo laws. See what the flows are looking like over here. I actually want to go down into the 15-minute. See who's buying. Who's buying this move? Coinbase is buying. Finex is buying too. Spot is net short though, or not net short, but net sellers right there. Interesting. What's up, Kendrick Camps? There he is. Dominicans are here. Fucking nice. Lovely, sir. Okay, thoughts on MKR USD daily or weekly added to position on the lower targets? Okay, so it seems like you're trading the plan. Nice one. MKR USD. Okay, let's pull it up right here. And you're looking at a daily and weekly. Okay, let's get off the hourly then, perhaps. Daily, still looking for some downside here. Actually, probably looking at another move towards 2200 or so. Hidden bearish evidence on the daily right there. Not necessarily the strongest RSI of all time. And to be fair, you know, this is a corrective move, first and foremost, is kind of how I'm interpreting this, with BBWP trending down throughout all this. But does that come alongside another test of basically your weekly 55? Probably yes. I'd be looking for another bounce there. As long as you do trade within this range here, this one's actually, you know, decent long term. I mean, you know, it's generally up long term. So I'm always going to be respectful of a chart like that. But it does suggest that short-term and medium-term downside first. Try for a low somewhere within this region, and then a move back above the 10th of October high should, you know, initiate another test back up to the top side of the range overall. But, you know, sideways within this range, long-term is fine. So I suspect that you are more long-term on this thing, which is, you know, again, all good in the hood, sir. All good in the hood. Let me just double-check over here. Okay, let's see. We're going to get a little bit of a fake or a break on lower-term time frames. All right, what's up, Jack? MPL. Okay, this is a new one. Your preferred timeframes? Okay. MPL. Maple token. All right. It's bullish, actually. It's a Canadian, says Elsa. Can you tell? What gave it away? Hey, what's up, Meccan? What's up, sir? Shout out to Meccan, man. He's the one who actually turned me on to the flow analysis over here. Ooh, big buys, big buys. Show me those girthy green big buys. Okay, back on to Maple. Good, man. Never going to be bearish on a chart that looks like this. Hidden bullish divergence on the last low. This one's already pretty much at your all-time highs. Be looking for it to actually officially test your May highs, your early May highs, that is, somewhere around 24.5 to 25 bucks overall. This is good. This is actually really, really good here. You know, I'm looking at higher term time frames for the most part. This one looks primed to make new all-time highs. We have a weekly reversal. There's your higher low. You're already on higher highs. Looking good. 4 hour. Also trending up. All time frames bullish, man. Good. Very, very good. Very, very good. What's up, Mr. Giohana? Okay, we're back. Sorry, couldn't see Tiger King. Okay, cool. Okay, Unizen. Okay, we can do that one. I know that TradingView definitely has that. BCX. Yes, there we go. And you're looking at 4 and daily. Okay, got it. 4 hour looks like we're trying for a little bit of a low right here. Probably short term back up towards 5.5 or so, or just under 5.5. Daily. You know, again, generally speaking, I do like charts like this. The question is, if Bitcoin plays out a downside move, where does this one come down towards? Likely somewhere down around about 475. So I kind of have the same thing to say about this as a lot of the other altcoins. Long term, as long as you're trading within this range, very good. You know, very, very good. I mean, this is fine. It's just short term. Where do we resolve the next short term move? 4 hour. Back above about 545. If you close a 4 hour dildo back above 545, I'd look for this one to test the top side of the range yet again. I don't think it's ready to break out though, personally speaking. And, you know, I'm going to be wrong on that, obviously, if this thing does close above about 585. But for right now, man, you know, sideways is good. Short term, looking for some upside. Pay attention to those closures if that happens at extend targets yet again. What's up, Salmon Crunches? SPS Splinterlands. All right. All right, this is a new one. What the fuck? Looks like we do not have it on TradingView, however, though. Yeah, unfortunately not on TradingView, man. So it looks like I can't pull it up unless that was... I could try to type it in. Nope, not going to be popping up there, man. Unfortunately, again, not on TradingView, so I can't be looking at it. But you know, if you wanna try for something else, we can definitely do that as well. Just let Elsa know. She is waiting. Oh my god, there's someone with a name, Krown's chest hair. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. You guys are savages. Suppressive Fire says Solana USD. Yeah, let's check this one out. One's actually recorded video on this one as well. Okay. Ah, there's our Solana. Look at that, our little LARP line's working well. All right. What's up over there, sir? Okay, cool. All right, here we have Solana versus the dollar, and the old LARP line's looking pretty damn good over here. Looks like we did get our test to the downside of the range that we were looking for over the past week and a half now. So again, you know, while that technical analysis bullshit, every once in a while it works, and in this case, you know, just for what it's worth, as long as Solana is trading between about 130 and 180, I am going to be macro bullish on this. I do look at this as a nice healthy consolidation. I only get bearish on this one, looking for big moves down, you know, below 100 bucks actually, if it does start to break below about $1.30 on a daily closure. Until then, sideways is very, very good for the long term. Short term, however, what are we looking for right here? Let me just get rid of this. Short term, let's see, do we have any divergences forming? No, we actually still have some downside signals active here. I would not look at this one as likely to even put in a short term reversal as long as you're below about 148. Above 148, I would look for a nice drive up towards your mid $150 level. Again, long term, I really like this chart, but if I did have to call it right now, momentum oscillators are suggesting downside first for the short term. Maybe comes down and officially tests, somewhere around about $1.35 to $1.30 or so. Completely fine though, long term. Again, as long as 130 holds on a daily. 5-day, what are you looking for right here? Again, long term, pretty damn good. Let's see, weekly, same thing as well. In fact, the weekly does say to hold off on short-term bearishness because both the 5-day and the weekly hold those ranges rather well. So you know what? I would feel comfortable saying that I would be looking for a short-term reversal here. I probably would be looking for a short-term reversal here, looking at the hourly, to be honest with you. Especially if you do close above about $1.40. What was it exactly? About $1.45, $1.46. Let me just double check on the 4-hour. Sorry, more like $1.47. $1.47 would look good to me. At that point, I'd be looking for another move into the mid 150s. That would look a lot more synchronistic with the 5-day and weekly here, both of which the 5-day is closing tonight. 2-day closed last night, still just raining, still fine, man. I mean, these charts are long-term very good, obviously. Let's go look at momentum oscillators from this angle as well and just see if they help with that short-term bias, perhaps. That's what's kind of throwing me off on this one. Ah, shit, I'm on the wrong chart. Whoopsies. Here, let's go to this one. There we go. Bananas. All right, here we go. Let's go to Binance and let's see. 12-hour will turn up above 148. Okay, interesting, but not necessarily relevant right now. Daily above 157, so that is a good pivot for the daily. 4-hour stays with downside posture as long as below about $1.45.30. So you know what? I would move up the short term, or sorry, I would move down the short term resolution, implying a bit of a short term reversal here with a closure above that 145.5 level or so, and look for a move back up into the mid to low 150s from there, and that would look pretty damn good. Until then, technically speaking, I should be looking for some more short term downside. Again, it goes without saying that the higher term time frame is still very good on this one. Just looking for BBWP to work off these very extreme conditions and come down probably into single digit territories. And that's at the point when I really start to look at this one as primed to actually continue on with the party yet again. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Solana. That's one, sir. Very cool. Gemini Athlete wants to look at Ren 2-day, weekly, and monthly. Okay. Ren. Whoops. Whoops. There we go. Ren. Sir, what the fuck did you say to me? 2-day, weekly, monthly. All right. Okay. Well, still good right there. Did play its correction down to the 21. 5-day. 5-day does look a little more corrective to me. I'm very much split on this one. Look, the long term is very simple. Up and to the right, baby. This one is powerful, actually. Going back to December 2018, this one is Link-esque, actually, in the sense that it generally just goes up, which is good. The question is, are we ready to just melt up from here? And I suspect that this one's probably going to correct downwards first. I'd probably be looking for another move towards 88 or so and come back to it after that. Okay, cool. Let's get back into here. Again, long-term, very good. I would adjust what I'm saying here if you do pop back above yesterday's high. That's actually the easy call on this one. Anywhere above yesterday's high, which is 117, I'll be looking for this one to continue on with a test towards the parallel highs in this case, about 142, 142.5, and then very likely continue onwards and upwards from there. And long-term, I would generally be looking towards that because this is, a pretty damn good long-term chart. Let's go back to Bitcoin. I'm actually curious to see what Bitcoin's looking like in the short-term timeframes right here. Okay, we do have another hourly higher low. Good. And let's see, is that the 2 hour as well? Yeah, actually good as well. Hey, not bad. I suspect Bitcoin's probably continuing from here. That's good. Good. Short-term timeframes continue chugging along, and that is all good in the hood for Bitcoin right now. What's up, Arif? H-bar, please. Okay, this is Haderpa Herpgraph. Let's see. Oh, man, she got hit on the fucking face right there. What? Am I trying to hit you in the face? No, I'm actually not trying to hit you in the face. I'm commenting on this chart, but again, long-term, very good. Daily, again, you do have that same sort of pivot that we see amongst many of these different charts. I will, well, let's just address this. Or should we do this one? Let me just double check how many videos we actually have for today. One, two, three. We'll hold off on this one. Yeah, man. Again, similar chart here to a lot of the other ones. You know, if you do want to be bullish on this one, which I do think is completely fine. Jesus Christ, we only need two areas of interest right here. Boom and boom. You know, this one you could argue that it's already kind of tested its bottom side support at 30.5 cents. Generally speaking, I'm looking for this one to trade sideways and up out of this range. I'd really only get bearish on this thing below about 30 cents. Let's call it. 4-hour time frame. Short term, are we more downside angled? Perhaps yes, but with the way that Bitcoin's looking right now, I do think that it's going to salvage a lot of these more short-term bearish charts that we've looked at today, and they're probably going to put in some local lows about where we're at right now. And on this one, you could see that it would already have regular bullish evidence come off that low, so that would be good, and imply targets back up, you know, north of 36 to 37 cents or so, and continues kind of chugging its way along here. But here's the thing, man. Just like many of these altcoins, I think at best many of these altcoins are going sideways for a while Bitcoin kind of does its thing, and then we'll see them fall through, you know, after Bitcoin's put in like a major top, for example, not necessarily the macro top, but a major top. And when then Bitcoin starts going sideways, that's at the point where I'd expect them to really follow. In this case right here, you know, back above yesterday's high, I'd be looking for another test of the top side of the range. I just don't think they're getting ready to, you know, trend on this one anytime soon. It's at best going sideways here. Bearish below 30 cents. Don't think that that's happening either, but that would be my condition for that. Okay, cool. What else do we have over here? Dan Dea says, hope all's well. Hey, all is pretty damn good, actually. Have we done Ethereum? Actually, no. If not, 4-hour daily plays. Let's do it, baby. Let's do it, actually. Let's do it, in fact. Alrighty. Let's record this one. Here we have Ethereum versus the dollar being requested by Mr. Dan Day. Actually, a nice alliteration of a name, in fact. And we'll do general review on this one. And what are we looking for on the daily? Well, the daily is actually very interesting right here, just because I almost said Bitcoin, but Ethereum did put in yet again another spike low right around the 21 exponential average. If you're looking at this from a trending perspective, this would be your next higher low, so that is good. And would we have hidden bullish difference between this point and this point? You know, a very anemic higher low. I suppose yes. Overall, we're still consolidating here as identified by the BBWP. We're still kind of trending down around almost single-digit percentiles. That does suggest that we are looking for a resolution of this one. In this case, I'm probably going to be biased to the upside. You know, somewhat soon, maybe in the next couple of weeks here overall. And we actually do have a nice little formation going in here too. We have an inverted head and shoulders, which will have a technical target actually pretty much around your prior all-time highs, just below 4,400 actually. Long term. Now that will be initiated and valid if we do start to close daily doodles back above about 3620 or just a higher wick than what you saw over here on 16th of September. One of those two criteria would do it for me, and I'd be looking for this one to first make a move up so towards about 39 to 4,000 bucks, probably short-term pullback there, and then general continuation up to the mid 4,000s, I suppose. You know, it does look good on the whole. Short-term time frames like a 4-hour. What are we seeing right here? Doesn't look too compelling on a short-term time frame. I guess that you can have your, you know, you can look at this as just another sloppy version of probably another higher low here, as long as we are above 34.20 or so. That would also imply that's where my biases do change on this one for the short term, especially implying that I would be looking for a move somewhere down around just below 3,300. In fact, I'm not necessarily saying that that's going to happen, but if we do fulfill that condition, that's at the point where I look at that as actionable. For right now, probably going to pop back up here. Let's go look at an hourly, for example. Yeah, hourly looks like we're putting in a low right now, which is good. In fact, let me just double check on my screens over here, and I want to see where. Okay, cool. All right, lovely. Anyways, for what it's worth right now, you know, could I be looking at this as a very short-term, you know, another local low? Yeah, I do think so. We got multiple drafts of bullish evidence come off the lows right there. Would like to see it close an hourly above about 35.25 in this case. And then, yes, I'd be looking for this one to reclaim the prior range highs, somewhere around about 36, actually intraday here perhaps as well. Hourly jewel giving us a little bit of a positive signature as well, so that is good. And 4-hour. Actually has the same thing here too. And by the way, 4-hour BBWP expanding off the lows here. So I do think that we're going to be looking for a decent sized move today actually on this asset. Very interesting one. In fact, let's go over here and check out momentum also just from this angle as well. And full circle perhaps. And let's see. All right, 4 hours down as long as below 35.50. Okay, so short term, you know, still just kind of trading sideways and consolidating. Hourly up above 34.90. Okay, good. So short term again, very likely does test up. 12-hour will turn back up above 36, and daily will also turn back up above 36.16. So I do like 36 as a nice pivot for the daily. Probably going to bleed into that higher term time frame training trade that we were looking at earlier. Personally speaking, do I think it's going to pull through here? Probably yes. Invalidation obviously below basically these last few wick lows right here on the hourly, 34.50 or so. Or if you want to go by the book, 4-hour closure below about 34.20 in this case. I'd be looking for downside to about 3,300 first. Until then, probably going to follow Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's looking decent right here for continuation. So hopefully that was helpful. And there you go for Ethereum. The old Ethereum, huh? The old fucking Ethereum. Let me just, do I want to trade this? Do I not want to trade this? Ethereum trades really, really nicely, just as an aside. I mean, I really actually like this chart. Let's go back on over here. This is the chart that I do trade, just by the way. Let's see. Do I like it? Do I not like it? I think I do like it, but I don't think I'm going to trade on video here just because, well, anytime that I do take trades during stream, a lot of the time it does not end too well. So I will just leave that right there and go back on the comment right here. Okay, cool. Okay, we got that. Litecoin, please, says MJ. Yeah, we can do Litecoin, sure. Okay, cool. All right. What do we have over here? Litecoin. Definitely weak, definitely a laggard, man. But you can't really be bearish on Litecoin if Bitcoin's going to pull through here at the same time as well. Let's do a video on this one. Litecoin deserves a video, I suppose. All right, let's do a completely new chart here as well. I haven't charted this one in like ages. We have Litecoin symbol LTC versus the dollar, and let's do a general overview on this one as requested by Mr. MJ, actually. Okay, so what do we see right here? Well, let's go down to let's actually start off on the weekly. What do we have? We do have a higher low in place. Still, though, working off of lower highs in comparison to Bitcoin, which actually has already made new highs above its last weekly lower high, so that'd be 230. So as long as you're below there, hard to get like super excited for long term, obviously. Looking at a daily right here, you can see a nice base being built right around 169, which is also a great number. So I would be looking at this as a as a very obvious pivot for the daily. And then of course to the upside, we got this pivot right here at about $1.88 and some odd change. Anyways, as long as this thing is above 169.5, let's call it, I do look at this one as very likely to trade sideways and up back towards about 188 to 190, a breakout above there, and I'd be looking for a retest of your 233 Walmart high, actually, which is fucking hilarious, by the way, because I remember when that news came out, like the fucking fake news came out, and I was on Twitter and like reading a thread, and just all of these Litecoin fanboys were gushing at this, saying, I knew I was going to be rewarded for buying Litecoin. I knew this thing was a good idea to hold for like the last 3 years, and then immediately gets thrown back down. Anyways, regardless of that, where would I get obviously bearish on this one, looking for another move back down to your 140 low and maybe even back down below there towards 120 over time? Well, first things first, I want to see either below yesterday's low, which is 166.65, or just a daily closure below about 169.5, same level as before. 4-hour time frame does look like we're trying to set in a base right here, so give it a chance to have a bit of a short-term rally here first. Volatility starting to decrease off the lows as well, so we're very likely looking at a move intraday today. In this case, with the current direction of the market, have to kind of be biased towards the upside. Let's go check out momentum oscillators over here and see what they have to say about that, and then cut this one off, baby. Daily turns up back above about 179. Okay, not really relevant currently, but nice pivot. 4-hour back above 180 as well, so 179 to 180 showing up a couple times there. Hourly is going to freshly be up above 173, so good. Currently above there, and 12-hour is going to pop back up above 180 as well. So you know what? I might even go as far as saying that if this one can pop back above 180, that's going to look really, really good. Obviously for a test towards 190. Do I think that things would stop there? Probably short term, yes, but this one probably pushes through at that point. You're just going to see too many things turn up at the same time. And volatility expanding off the lows on a 4-hour like this, I'm going to be looking for bigger moves down the road, obviously. So at that point, you probably do test your last weekly lower high, and that'll look really, really good for the long term, obviously. Speaking of long term, let's go look at the monthly. Yeah, definitely a laggard here. Definitely not my favorite chart, but be aware of where the pivots are. Basically below 169, bad. Above 180, good. We'll call it there, and hopefully that was helpful for Litecoin. What? Have I done FTM? I have not done FTM, actually. What's up, King Cosmic? Hey, all good, man. I just assume that you're there anyways, man. So all good. Let's go look at your baby spy. Where's my spy? Where is it? Where are you? Where is it? Voice cracks like a bitch. Here we go. Yes, we're getting the downside that we spoke about. Looking shitty, sir. Looking shitty. I'd be looking for this one to come back down and retest lows, 4,300 or so. Probably another bounce there. Bearish AF as long as you're below 43.90. There's your next lower high. Do we have hidden bearish events come off that one? Actually, no, which is kind of interesting there. So I would flip around to medium-term bullish back above about 43.90, looking for a move towards 44.50 or so. But until that happens, man, I'm looking for this one to come back down, retest around your 4,300 lows or so. And at this point, man, I still stick with what I've been saying. I think that this thing is, I think that we're seeing the 15 to 20% correction, happen in front of our faces right now. Weekly RSI is not strong and actually losing levels that we haven't lost since October of last year, in fact. And volatility on the floor, well, means that there's only one way, and the one way to go here. That is to the upside. So upside on volatility, which in this case would imply, continuation of downside. Still looking long-term, assuming that this correction does play out. And this would look really, really bad if we take out last week's low, which we're not really close to right now. But if we were to, I'd still stick kind of with, $4,100 targets, maybe all the way down to $4,000, which would that be my 20% correction I'm looking for? Barely even above 10%. Jesus Christ, man. If we get 15%, where does that bring us down towards? Well, shit, man. Maybe I'm a little bit too bearish on this. Well, let's go for 10% first and then come back to perhaps. But yeah, man, looking weak here. Nothing, nothing really impressive, even on the hourly, as long as you're below about 43.45 in this case. Back above there, I'd look for a nice little rally back up towards 43.60 plus or so. But until that happens, man, path of least resistance to the downside, sir. What's up, Martin Hunt? One more question if you have time. All good, man. Any thoughts on Algo BTC on the 4-hour daily? Let's check it out. Check it out on the daily specifically. Okay. Looks pretty shitty on the hourly. Let's go to the daily right here. Looks pretty shitty here too. I would be looking for a bounce somewhere around about 2,700 or so. Let's see, what does it look like over the long term? Yeah, not great, man. I think that that's just going to be a bounce, to be honest with you. I do not like charts like this. The weekly does look like a breakdown. Daily's very close to a bounce. Any sort of a bounce that fails to get back above 37.50 is just setting up for continuation, man. You have the setup right here. BBWP expanding, trend is down, and momentum's down as well. So I'd be looking for a bounce here, and then probably bounce gets sold into if I had to guess. So hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for the old Algo BTC. Again, not going to be relevant towards this US dollar pairing, obviously. Just kind of hard to beat Bitcoin when Bitcoin's moving. Hey, what's up, Colin McCann? Holy shit, dude. Good to see you, man. It must be the dead of night for you over there in Chicago. But hey, man, wishing you well as well, sir. And good to see you, man. What's up, Ali? Good morning to you as well. AVAX 4-hour daily. Yeah, okay. So AVAX, last I looked at it, I was looking for a correction. Still long-term bullish, obviously, but I want to see what this one looks like. Yeah, and hey, we got a correction. Hey, fucking finally, baby. Fucking finally. Oh, nice. Right down to Wally's levels, huh? Okay. Okay, let's record this one. Here we have Avalanche symbol AVAX, and I want to follow up on this one because we were talking about a correction about a week and a half ago, and while these things do take time, well, did finally fucking happen, huh? So we hit our $50 target right there. It's very possible that I might actually increase the downside targets here, but for now, I would be looking for a bounce first and foremost off the one spot 272 and also the 55 right here. Short-term time frames like a 4-hour. Not looking very bouncy just yet, actually, so maybe I'm going to be wrong on that one. In fact, volatility is really starting to increase right here, and actually getting, I mean, this is really, really aggressive. I would not look at this as actionable, to be honest with you. Like, really fucking aggressive of the signal, but do we get one more drive down first towards $50.50 and then try for a bounce? Probably yes, probably yes. See what the 5-day looks like here. Yeah, 5-day kind of saying the same thing as well. 2-day. Okay, interesting. And what about the daily? Interesting as well. I would flip around and say that the consolidation is fully matured, and actually, well, I wouldn't say fully matured, but ready to pop back up towards the range highs. In this case, at around $70+ if we take out yesterday's high. But as long as we're operating below yesterday's high, which is $60.50, I do look for a short-term bounce relatively soon after maybe one more swipe of $50, and then probably, well, I mean, we are getting some downside signals here, to be fair, so I do have to be looking towards that. But here's where I'd obviously get bullish on it, which long term, this one is, make no mistake about it, massively fucking bullish. This is a phenomenal chart long term. It's just the question is, do we correct a little bit further down towards actually Coop's targets, mid to low 40s, probably like 41 to 42 bucks, or does this one bottom out here? I am inclined to say that it probably bounces here. Assuming that the bounce fails to get back above 60.5 bucks, I would be looking for the next correction to the downside. In this case, probably somewhere around 40 bucks or so. Long term, again, very, 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 very good. These should be, or technically speaking, should be long term opportunities, but yeah, short term corrective here. Let me go check momentum as well, out of curiosity. That 4 hour at currently, and then we can maybe come up with some more pivots. 4 hours, very, very aggressive right here, but it is technically down as long as below 55 hourly. 52.5, okay. 12 hour, 55 as well. In daily, 57. So I do think that you might be able to front run a little bit of a short-term reversal back about 55. I see that coming up multiple times. If that were to happen, I'd look for a nice move at the very least towards 58.5, maybe even as much as 60 bucks. But still, I do need to stick with what I said. As long as we're below yesterday's high, kind of hard to love for the short and medium term. This is a good long-term setup, though. The question is, do we come down to $40 first? I'm inclined to say yes, but short-term speaking, very likely to bounce around this region. Hopefully that was helpful, and there you go for Avalanche there. Cool. Todd Hall says V-chain on the daily and weekly. Okay, symbol VET, USD here. What we got going on? Yeah, not too titillating on this chart, man. Hidden bearish divergence on the last daily high right there. I'd say that, yeah, that one's already, the easy portion of that move's already played out. Below yesterday's low, I'm looking for this one to fall apart again, back down to 8.5 center. So let's see what the 5-day looks like. Again, long term, fine. We see the same sort of basic chart that we see around the cryptocurrency land. We see a nice range, and you're gonna have your higher lows as long as you kind of do something like this, and that would be long term bullish, obviously. What time frames are you looking at? Daily and week? Yeah, you are on the more long-term time frames here, to be fair. But the question is, do we, test downside first? We do. Looking somewhere down around about 8.5 cent or so before the next daily bounce. Very short-term time frames, like a 4 hour. Suggest, yeah, lower from here. I'd really only switch around my opinion if we get like a 4 hour closure above 11 cents in this case. And kind of hard to get excited about this thing from like a trending perspective, as long as you're below about 15.5 cent, obviously above there. Looking for the new all-time high party to begin yet again, which, this isn't a bad chart long term. It's just, short term and medium term more corrective and sideways consolidation. I mean, that's fine and to be expected after going on a pretty nice tear like you saw throughout most of 2020 and early 2021 as well. Other than that, though, I don't really have a strong opinion on this one. Where would I get more immediately bullish on like a daily? That back above 12 cents. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know there. I'm inclined to say that this one does come down first, though. So hopefully that was helpful, sir. What's up, Lenod Mastinov? Mastioff. Definitely Russian. What's up, man? Good morning, Zill USD 4 hour, please. Sure. Zill USD and Zilladerp. Almost looks like the exact same chart as what we just saw. A couple drives of hidden, or actually just, yeah, a couple drives of hidden bearish divergence right there. Daily jewel turning down as well. Short term, it's looking more corrective to me than not, meaning that I'm probably looking for another move down around about 7.5 cent or so. Yeah, probably looking for something like that first. What time frames are you looking at, though? Oh, 4 hour. Okay, well, probably don't give a fuck about that then, do you? 4 hour. Maybe one more short-term bounce relatively soon, but I do expect that this one will find its way down to like 8.5 cent or so. Maybe try for like a 4 hour bounce there. Go check it out from this angle as well. I think a lot of these altcoins probably want to go for like one more drive. Whoops, wrong chart. Oh, that one's not particularly enticing as well. Let's go to this one. 4 will pop back up above 9 spot 2 cent or so. So as long as you're below there, 9.2 that is, I look for path of least resistance to the downside somewhere around about 8.5 cent first, then a bounce, give it a chance at that point. Again, long term, same chart as what we saw before. Probably just trading sideways, for a while until Bitcoin tops out for the time being. And anything like this is going to be long term good, obviously. I mean, that's just going to be another higher low. So probably shouldn't draw that in before it's actually in there, but presumably speaking, I think that you probably end up doing something like that, if I had to guess. What's up, Arif? Economy. Ecomi. OMI, please. Okay, sure. OMI, you okay? We'll go here. Very, very good on the weekly, man. This one's powerful, actually. This is very interesting. We see so many altcoins doing different things. Now, I don't know what time frame you're looking at here because you didn't specify, but weekly's good. Daily's generally good as well. Full hour. Do we see one more move down to like 7 cents or so? That's completely fine. I don't have a strong opinion on that. My strong opinion is on as long as you're above 7 cents, especially. This thing is up and away, man. Weekly is powerful right here. If it does want to correct down with the rest of the market, which not really looking too likely to me right now, I'd be looking somewhere around about 6.5 cents. All of these are just higher lows. This is a very constructive and good chart. I'd be looking long term towards about sorry, it's not 10 cents, but like 1 cent. A little bit under 1 cent long term. Just depends kind of which time frame you're on there, which you did not specify. So I don't know which way you want to go with that. Yeah, hey, sorry, man. Mr. Enrico, we do have to set a little bit of ground rules. If you're going to spam the same ticker over and over again, we're going to have to put you on a vacation. Not because we don't like you, but because you don't speak like a normal human being, and because understand that like this is the community here. So we want to make sure that's well, it'd just be like weird if you fucking went into a conversation with someone and just started like spamming, "Hey, man, FTM, 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 FTM." It's like, okay, dude. Have you had your pills today, sir? Something like that, man. Hopefully that's done in a respectful way. What's up, JV? Hey, man, my pleasure. I'm glad that you enjoyed those because I actually really enjoy making those. Could you give your humble opinion on ENPH? Okay, just one, man. We do have to kind of be aware of time here and the people in the community as well. We can do. I think AMC is probably gonna be more relevant or probably more interesting. So I've been calling tops on AMC for a long time now, and I still think that this one's topped out for a long time. Both GameStop and this thing are doing the same thing, right? They're going to be going sideways for a very long time. I don't think that this thing will... If one of these meme bullshit stocks is going to make a new all-time high, it's probably going to be AMC rather than GME. But in this case right here, where am I? Where am I angled towards this one? I'm a lot more angled towards the downside. I'm looking towards $29 or so. I don't know what... Oh, no, you are looking at a daily, weekly, and I'm on a monthly. So I'm generally looking towards another move down around there. Again, it's kind of very similar to a lot of the altcoin charts in the sense that, you just got this nice range going on in the weekly. And technically speaking, you should be bullish as long as this range does hold. I'm just, running off the assumption that, well, it's fucking meme stock and has really no business doing this to begin with. And we got some pretty nasty downside signals here as well. So I'm a lot more inclined to say that you're going to see $30 to $31 first before any sort of test towards the top side of your range here. Personally speaking, I think that it's going to morph into something like this. And over the next year to year and a half, you're going to see a major high put in here. This thing will work its way back down below, double digits where it belongs, into the single digits, but that's personal opinion, of course, as well. Let's go back to Bitcoin, see where she's at. Bitcoin, what you doing, baby? What you doing? Still looking good right there. Not bad, man. Not bad. Mike Nation, we've actually already done AVAX, and I'll upload it a little bit later as well, so I think all good there. Akshay, what's up, man? Mr. J, the Samcoin FTM, yeah, here we go. Hourly and daily. Also off topic, have you played MMOs like WoW? Don't remind me, man. Oh my god, I lost like 2 years of my life to WoW. I cannot handle MMOs, man. It's really, 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 really bad, actually. Like I have an addictive personality, and so I try to choose my addictions. So I try to like make them somewhat give something back to me, like looking at fucking charts all day. This is my new video game. This is my MMO in like gym and shit like that. But goddamn, man, like, if you want to distract me for a couple years, just give me access to unlimited ganj gummies and a WoW subscription, and it's over, baby. I'm not coming out of my fucking cave for nothing. All right, hourly and daily. Let's record this one. Here we have phantom symbol FTM versus the dollar, and it looks like we're getting the ranging price action that we were looking for from yesterday. Now, long term, still very, very good. Wouldn't be surprised to see this one make new all-time highs, maybe even this month, but probably November. Get onto lower term time frames right here. Yeah, still ranging, which is completely to be expected after that nice mega run towards our, I think it was about 240 target, 225 target. Looking at something like this on the short term time frames, does that come with another test of the downside of the range, like somewhere around $2? Probably yes. We do see that volatility starting to expand off the lows here as well, but I'm not super convinced that that's going to be the actual move here, to be fair. Daily, long-term, very, very good. We've back-tested the 1618 extension, which was our target from, I believe, last week's analysis. And long-term, I'm looking somewhere around $2.50 to $3, actually. Sorry, more like $2.69 to $2.90 long-term. And that will be initiated as a relevant target with a break above the top side of this range here. In this case, I'd want to see a 4-hour closure above about 240. You want to use it daily, probably about the same area anyways. Yeah, about the same area right there. Does look good long term. Again, just short term, I expect that this one probably ranges a little bit more. However, I'll be wrong on that, and this one will melt up to new all-time highs, again, with any sort of a closure above about 240 on even a 4-hour spec. I suppose I should also cover the downside as well, even though I don't necessarily think it's going to happen here. A break below the bottom side of the range, $2, and I look for another move down to about $1.75. Don't think that's what's happening. Long-term, still very, 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 very good, very strong. One of the strongest actually in this market, in fact, at least from what I've seen today. But let's see where momentum oscillators are at right now. 4-hour remains with upside caution above 207. Okay, interesting. 12-hour will be up as long as above 216. We're also above that as well. So maybe I should be looking for this one to try for a move today. Daily will turn back up above 241. So if we do break the top side of it, you'll have both momentum and trend continuation. So that'd be really, really good. Hourly is down below 231. So I'd still be cognizant of those pivots. If I had to call it right now, I expect that you do some a little bit more like this. You know, boom, 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 and then probably something like that. It's generally really, really good. Just I suspect that it goes a little more sideways here, and then you see it make its move. So hopefully that's helpful. And there you go for Phantom. Nice one, sir. The old Sam coins, huh? Moody Millennial. Oh man. Oh boy. Hope you're having a PP day. I'm having a PP day indeed. LEO versus USD 4-hour and daily, please. Sure, man. LEO. What do I know this one from? LEO token? What the fuck is this? Is this like the Finex thing, or I don't remember. What time frames again as well? 4-hour and daily. Okay, yeah, that 4-hour would throw me out, but the daily is just obviously another higher low right here. And I look at this as actually probably going to reverse today. Short term, looking for a move towards like 287 to 288 region, and I'd call this obviously confirmed back above this little lower high right here at about 296. Above there, this thing probably goes on another ride again back around your prior range highs at 3.25. So while it probably tests there and pulls back on the short term timeframes, that's fine. Long term, it's very likely to continue. I mean, this is good here. The short-term time frames are going to throw me off a little bit. I'd only invalidate this as an idea below about 270 on a daily closure. Until then, path of least resistance right now is, well, it's not necessarily the path of least resistance, but this one's just put in a local low right here, man. This one's good. This one's good. Don't see any major issues with this. Weekly, same thing. Monthly, a little bit more choppy on the monthly, but just be aware of where those invalidation points are, and until those get taken out. Probably does pull through here if I had to guess. Ali, Mr. Shamari says, sorry for another one. All good, man. Jasmine, yeah. So this one was brought up yesterday. Maybe it was by you. Forget, but something that I'd never heard about until yesterday, essentially. And apparently it's on Coinbase, so take that as you will, man. Looks like this one did break through whatever level that we were looking at yesterday, because I'm sure that I marked off this right here at 7.5 cents. And look at that. It's already back tested it. I'm looking for this one to work its way onwards and upwards from here. Probably somewhere around this prior breakdown region, about 15.25 or so. I'd only get bearish on this thing below 5 cents. And this is, for what it's worth, looking good. It's a little bit of a newer chart for me to feel like super comfortable with it. But, short term, where is your short term pivots? Right below 7.5 cents, looking for a move back down somewhere around about 6.25, 6.30 or so. Until then, man. This one looks like it's actually broken out here. I respect the daily on this one. Looks good. Looks good, man. What's up, Aaron Depp? Morning, Chief. You were talking about Elio and Kongs. Hello from Citizen 388. Oh shit! What's up, man? Are you part of Neo Tokyo? No, I'm not, man. But I respect the game, man. Like these NFT guys, they are okay. There are two types of NFT boolas. There are the people who understand gaming and the metaverse, and we actually just rewatched Ready Player One, and it's like you can very easily understand how powerful NFTs will very likely be in a digital future like that, where it's like how are you going to own things in your in your metaverse similar to Ready Player One? It's probably going to be an NFT. I mean, that would be the most logical way to do it, easiest way to do it as well. And so that is, I don't know, man. It just makes sense to me. And then there's also people who just think that any NFT is going to be super valuable. That's obviously not going to be true. I think most NFTs are going to trend towards zero. And also just the fact that most NFTs, like, you can just create more. I mean, it's probably going to decrease the value significantly from what we see right now. But yeah, man, some of those NFTs like actually have utility, which, I think if more people knew about them, they probably understand the power of these things. It was certainly very interesting to me, man. So he educated me greatly on that. Can you create a boob NFT? Yeah, you can. You already created a fucking cock NFT, so why not go why not create a boob NFT? Mr. Ali B says, would you have time for a Luna 4 on daily? Yeah, we can do that. I believe we got a correct that we were looking for here yesterday as well. Hey, we did. Hey, not bad. Not bad. Actually, not exactly where I'm looking for just yet, but we're en route. It should be more down around there, although we did hit our target from yesterday's video. Let me just double check, speaking of videos, how many I got today, and maybe we recorded one for this. Okay, today is the 12th, right? So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, maybe we already have too many. All right. Luna right here, still looking at the same thing. Long term, still very good. Short term, it's a bouncy, probably yes. Let's see where momentum oscillators is actually at on this one. I always want to err on the side of upside for this, just because long term it's a very, very phenomenal chart. Yeah, 4-hour closure above $37.50 should do it. And I'll be looking for a bounce first. Bounce can come up all the way to even $40 again. Completely fine. Is this one done with its downside exploration of this consolidation? Maybe, maybe not. I don't really have a strong opinion on that. If it wants to play at one more move down to like $34, that's completely fine. We almost nearly got there yesterday at 35.5 or so from last week's call. So at the end of the day, man, you could easily argue that that's mostly played out. 5-day is a little bit concerning here because this one will be closing tonight, and if it does close here or lower, anywhere below, especially $40 actually, we will have regular bearish divergence on this one, and that would be a little bit more concerning to me. Perhaps exploring a little bit of targets further south towards $30. Of course, remains to be seen right now, but short-term time frames that actually give this one a chance to bounce here first, and then come back to it. Again, with Bitcoin looking the way that it does, I'm generally going to be biased towards a short-term bouncy bounce. And then if it gets above those pivots, I'll be looking for a move towards the upside first, probably somewhere around $40. If you start to close above there, you can see how everything kind of turns around, and then short-term, looking back up towards mid-40s after that. Generally speaking, sideways is really, really good on this one. It's just how much more sideways do we need to go? Weekly says probably a little bit more sideways, actually. Probably looking for this one to cool off a little bit more on BBWP here. I want to see it get down to about single digits. So it's working its way down there. It's just, it's going to take time, naturally speaking. But that is good. That is good for the long term. Let me take a sippy sip of this water, though. Oh, there we go. Oh man, water is the best. I got to tell you, Finnish water, still the best, still undefeated. All right, Trent Nordis says, has KDA been done yet? No, it has not. Can't say that it has. KDA, Cadena. Let's see if this was a one. Nope, this was not a one-off. This is really good right here, actually. This is really fucking good, in fact. I'd be looking for a short-term move back to your prior highs at about 220, 221 region. Don't think that things are going to stop there, man. This is good. This one looks like it's primed for continuation here, actually. 4-hour, completely fine. I would only get a little bit short-term looking for downside if this one cracks back down below the last 4-hour low, which is 195, and look for a move down to 180 at that point. Still, would be long-term good, actually. But there is nothing bearish about this chart at all whatsoever on a daily, as long as it's above about $1.40. Long term, I expect that this one goes for new all-time highs later this month, or probably November in this case. But good, very, very good here. Would like to see Bitcoin kind of continue on with its own party for this one to move as well. But for right now, Bitcoin going to get again another higher low on the hourly and buy hourly. Let's see if the 3 hour is going to follow through after that. Actually, it already has. All right. There you go. There you go. Looking lovely, sir. Looking lovely. What's up, Aaron Depp? He's back again. Gun to the temple. Which one 10x is first? Matic or 1? It doesn't need to be in a month. 10xing whenever. Okay, so over an infinite amount of time space. Looking at 1. So let's look at this chart first, and let's just see which one's more long-term bullish. Yeah, this one's very, very good long-term on the monthly. You're okay, this was 1, and then let's go look at Polygon. Okay, 1. One would be my call on this one. One would be my call on this one. That's a hard sentence right there. But yeah, man. Both of them pretty good long term, but one is a little bit more immediately bullish, I would say. Satvik Verma says, I pray that everyone here gets rich. Nice. A nice little positive message to maybe even end out the day as well. 1:40 on the clock right now. There you go. There you fucking go, man. We've already done Ethereum, and I'm actually going to upload a video on it a little bit later. What is going on right here? Okay, we got a couple more. All right, so I'll stick around for a second here. Riley says, HNT USD. Okay, HNT. Remember, we looked at this one a couple times last week. It was all right. HNT Helium. Okay. Let's see, what do we got? What do we got? Daily, weekly. You're concerned about price action recently. I mean, this is to be expected after going on a nice run to the upside, obviously. So what are you doing right here? I guess I already have the same chart in. You know, does it come with another test of like 1666? Yeah, I mean, that's completely fine though, man. As long as you're above this slew of lows right here at, you know, 16.5 bucks, let's just call it. It's good. It's good long term. But kind of similar to a lot of the other charts that we've seen like this, I just don't think it's going to be moving like this week, for example. So a little bit more ranging activity within this region and then breakout above about 22 bucks. You know, this is a good chart long term. It's just short term. Does it come back down to the prior lows? 4 hour says yes. I would negate that. I would invalidate that with a closure back above about 19 bucks and look for next move short term to the upside. Again, I don't think this one's like ready to break out towards the upside or anything like that. I think at best you'd test the top side of it and then come back down. But other than that, man, you know, not too interesting short term. Let's see. Aaron Depp says, I just realized the sad truth that I was distracted from crypto because of NFTs, and now watching your show a lot again means NFTs are dying because crypto is interesting again. Have an awesome day. Hey, you as well, man. Yeah, you know, everything goes in cycles, right? It's going to be interesting to see like how the NFT cycle goes alongside Bitcoin. But, you know, from what I gather as well, it does seem like NFTs seem to take like a little bit of a downtick whilst Bitcoin takes the reins of the show. I expect people are just kind of going back into Bitcoin for what it's worth. Let's see. Vic or VLC I says COTI 1 and 4 hour, please. Okay. COTI. See what we got here. 4 hour. Again, in kind of a bouncy area right here. Might have one more wick down to 48 or so and try for a bounce there. Hourly. Do we bounce first or second? Let's see what Momentum also to say over here. Let's see. Hourly up above 50 cents. Okay, we're above there right now. Leaning towards bounce first. 4 hour will also turn up above 50 cents. Yep, I'm leaning towards bounce first, man. 12 hour down below 55.70 and daily down below 55 as well here. So, you know, I do think that your bounce is probably just going to be that bounces, but short term, does it pop back up towards, you know, 52 cents? Probably, yeah. Again, assuming that those conditions are met. Alongside a Bitcoin just continuation here. Multiple drives of bullish evidence on hourly right here as well. Even the hourly jewel is given actually a pretty damn good signal right there. So I'd be biased towards bounce first. Still ranges on the daily and higher term timeframes after that. But I don't think that you're too concerned about that because you didn't ask about that. Fair enough. Fat Killer. Oh man, you can't say that nowadays, sir. Can you take a look at stock CCL? Sure. Daily week. What's up, plums? Can I donate my soiled pants instead of a super chat? Yes. Elsa will handle all of that, and she'll even clean it for you as well. And there you go. CCL Carnival Corporation is what you're looking at. All right. Let's look at it. Let's see what time frames. Daily and weekly. Got it. Higher term time frames here. Okay, nothing wrong with that. However, this chart has a lot of things wrong with it, at least for the short term, man. I'm inclined to say this one does come back down to the prior lows. Yeah, weekly is weak as fuck, man. Ugly. I'm inclined to say that this one does come down back around about 22 and a quarter. So monthly, Not too hot right here. Only way that I'd switch around to somewhat bullish on this thing is if you take out last month's high. As long as you're trading below that, I'm looking for this one to not just come down towards, I think it was a $22 target. Sorry, more like $23 target. We're looking for this one to actually undo the whole rally here, probably back down to like 21 to 21 and a half long term. Just depends how long term you are on this one, obviously, but you do have an obvious trade on the other side as well. Taking out last month's high, and at the very least, I'd be looking for a run towards 31 and a half. At that point, could get bullish for a move back above about $40, but I'm inclined looking at this chart to say that's probably not happening here. This is Carnival Corporation, so yeah, probably not doing too well during the pandemic times, if I had to guess. But hey, that's where my validation would be. Short term, heavily bearish as long as below about 25 and a half. In this case, let's see, momentum oscillators are neutral-ish. So I guess a little bit more on the positive side there for you, if assuming that you want to be long, weekly. I really shouldn't be giving any sort of like bullish narrative on this as long as you're below about 26 and a quarter. Above there, yeah, look for a retest of your prior highs on this rally, and then maybe you get your reversal. I'm inclined to say that it's a little more on the hopium side. Until then, not looking too hot, man. Sweet. Okay, yeah, I think we're at the end of this stream here. We already did Solana. I'll upload a video on it a little bit later as well. I think what we can do is maybe just a quick little wrap up on Bitcoin, and then we'll send you off on a very merry way yet again. So let me just pull up the most important thing we're aware of over here. Okay, get off stupid shitcoin charts and onto Bitcoin charts. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Okay, sweet. Okay, beautiful. Here we have Bitcoin versus the dollar, and we have a couple of very interesting things to be aware of that are happening at the end of the day today, of which, first things first, what happened yesterday? Sorry. Clout Gangsters, how do you live with that laughter? Well, judging by your comments, man, I am not too... how do you live with holding fucking ship? Is the real question. Oh, man. Interesting people on the internet, man. Interesting people on the internet. Anyways, I hope that your day does go better, though, and we can get back onto this. All right, here we have Bitcoin versus the dollar, and what is the most important thing that happened in the last 24 hours since we last spoke? And that would be the buy daily close in a nice girthy green dildo yet again for the 1-2, working on 3-4 times now above the top side Bollinger Band here. So I am biased towards further upside over the next 48 to maybe like 2 to 4 days, or whatever that ends up being, with the same sort of areas of interest in mind as the prior analysis. Anywhere around about $60,000, give or take a little bit from that region, completely fair game. Volume profile really starts to thin out above about 60,000 even though. So on a closure above there, can Bitcoin go for a ride? Yes, absolutely. But I do still remain a little bit cautious due to some of the underlying market dynamics within that region. Wouldn't really take too much to pull the rug out and get our next higher low on the daily after a nice downside move. But with that in mind, 5-day is also going to be closing tonight as well. So keep that in mind. If we do close anywhere above the topside Bollinger Band here, which is 57,800 or just 57.7 is going to be good enough for me in this case, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to put in that move to $60,000 first before any sort of a decent sized pullback, particularly even based off the 4-hour time frame right here. I'm actually going to turn off the alerts for right now, sir. We're trying to wrap this one up actually. But looking at the 4-hour right here, what do we see? Is the continuation of trend. If we go back to the same chart that I think we were working off of yesterday, it's the same thing right here. As you can see, that Bitcoin, it did hit our short-term target to the upside. Actually, let me go to the 4-hour. And essentially, I am looking at Bitcoin and short-term, medium-term, and long-term trending motion, especially as long as we are above the same breakout pivot that we had marked off from a couple days ago at about 55,800 or so right here. So these technical targets to the upside are still very much valid as long as that condition is met below there, below 55,800. I would look for Bitcoin to fill out the range, the prior range yet again towards, what was it, 58, sorry, not 58, but $54,000. And then of course the same sort of interpretation with that one as before as well, meaning that if Bitcoin does close below about $54,000, I would be looking for Bitcoin to pop down somewhere around $50,000 and try for that next higher low on the daily, which probably going to be a major opportunity, at least in my opinion. But I want to see it in first, like I'd want to see it first before actually judging it. But just kind of speaking a little bit ahead of ourselves right now. Anyways, looking at momentum oscillators for the short-term time frames, what do we see? 4-hour remains with upside posturing as long as above 57,300 on a closing basis. We're currently trading about $200 above that. Bi-hourly will also flip back up above 57,500 actually, and hourly will also flip back up freshly above 57,200 right here. Also playing out this trend line as well, just for what it's worth. And keep in mind that all those other lower term time frames essentially do have hidden bullish evidence suggesting that we do get continuation first before any sort of a decent sized pullback. But please understand what those invalidations are. Hourly right here already confirming that hidden bullish evidence. Bi-hourly has done it as well, and 3 hour has not done it, but should. I mean, this is a local low right here. This is another higher low right here. I expect that it will happen. Anyways, with that in mind, still kind of looking cautiously to the upside first, and then we'll come back later and see kind of where we're at. Anyways, with that said, I want to wish you the best in the happy apps yet again, and I'll be signing off now. Take care, and see you hopefully soon. Alrighty, sirs and zers. I'm going to be signing off now. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you on this lovely Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever fucking day morning it's Tuesday, apparently. With that said, take care, enjoy the outro tunes, and until next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, then dip, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate, pause it, list it, send it, burn it, pump it, hack it, quick rename it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, click, unclick it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, find it, drop it, crack it, lose it, curse it, pay it, to it, pay it, bar it, chart it, hide it, fight it, deal it, seal it, and unlock it, back it, send it, change it, blend it, mine it, grind it, how it, list it, praise it, curse it, trash it, hash it, roll it, troll it, and upgrade it, take it, take it, blend it, send it, swell it, sell it, click, unclick it, see it, watch it, learn it, know it, post it, tweet it, and repeat it, chart it, long it, short it, hedge it, post prediction, quick erase it, watch it, leave it, watch it, leave it, check it, click it, and refresh it, write it, code it, name it, read it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, chart it.